Hi, it's John Rodriguez with Century 21 Pinnacle, and I'm here today with David Dunn from Preferred Landscape and Lighting. And we're here to simply kind of give you some tips on how to go about putting up your holiday lighting and to be safe about it. First off, David, I appreciate you being here. David, what can you tell us about how homeowners can put up lights and be safe about it?
Best thing to do is to follow the directions. There's multiple things that you can do. If you have frayed wires, throw them away. Don't use electrical tape to try to patch it up and be cheap. Probably they're older anyway, so might as well get newer technology instead of potentially starting a fire. Consider LED lighting. You have much more flexibility with it. It has a different look, but some of the new LED white technology is more like the incandescent, which is what people remember as that nice candle glow.
What can you tell us is the difference between LED lights and incandescent lights?
Primarily, there's a difference in look, although that's getting a little bit better, so people are adopting the LED technology for aesthetics more often now. There's also a big price difference. LED is typically in the 3 to 4 times more expensive than incandescent, but finally it uses much less electricity. You can string more of these end to end, and you can push more lights on a circuit. So it allows you to do a larger display with the same power availability.
Okay. And if someone were to go ahead and start tackling this project and start putting up the lights, how can they be safe about it, and what kind of steps do you recommend they take to make sure that they don't cause harm to themselves or fire?
Most of the time, we make sure your electrical is in good condition, meaning you don't have some other issue with it. You don't want to use any frayed electrical cords. You want to be careful of putting electrical cords in pedestrian walkways or where people are going to drive over them. Make sure they're tacked down well. Those are just for tripping and falling hazards. As far as electrical, you want to make sure that you're reading the label of the lights that you're using. Different types of lights recommend how much end-to-end can be used, and they'll also tell you how many amps they can draw. So amp draw is important because circuits will only handle so many amps.
Right.
If you put the recommended number, you're fine. If it exceeds that number, then you're going to cause more electrical problems for yourself and potentially a fire.
Okay.
What else would you like me to answer for you?
Well, you know, there's a lot of older homes in San Antonio and newer construction, and I know as a realtor just from different inspection reports and such that the newer code requires that in exterior outlets that those outlets be ground fault circuit interrupters, which if the layman at home, you know those outlets as being the outlets in your restrooms that have the black and red buttons. Those are now required outside. How are those beneficial if you don't already have them outside? Why is it a benefit to put them outside before you decide to put your lights up?
Well, in any wet area now, as you say, it's code, whether it's in a kitchen or in a bathroom or exterior. All new construction has GFCI plugs, which has a test and reset somewhere within the circuit. Once they get wet, they will trip, and that's for your protection. Older homes weren't required to do that and typically don't have those GFCIs. So they can be wet and they can shock you and stay illuminated. So they might be happy that they don't have to have their lights go off when it mists or rains a little bit, but on the other hand, it can create a safety issue.
Right. So you can see that there's probably some nuances that might be worth the phone call to David or one of his associates here at Preferred Landscape and Lighting. Well, I appreciate you being here with us today, David. And if you have any questions, call David at Preferred Landscaping and Lighting, or call myself, John Rodriguez, Century 21 Pinnacle, your realtor for life. Enjoy the holidays.